Hi, everyone. Let's wait a few more minutes for everyone to join the webinar, and then we can get started.
Yes, we can hear you, Jane. Good morning.
Okay, so I think we can start. Hi, everyone. Thank you very much for joining our webinar. Today, our speaker Jose Mora will be presenting our compact LT series equipment. I kindly ask you to keep your microphones muted during the presentation, and we will have a Q&A session afterward where you will be able to ask all your questions. You can also submit questions in the chat, and I will do my best to address them. I believe everyone has joined, so I think we can get started. I'll now hand it over to Jose. So, Jose, please go ahead.
Thank you, Jane. Nice to have everybody here. And we talk today about the LT series machines of Lovecore. And we are really glad with your presence in our presentation. And we hope they will be really useful for your continuous work. And we will try to help you with some improvements on our machines. And we want you know about it. Well, we will start with the presentation. Right now, we will talk about the UPM machine and CMM mobile plants for the oil treatment of the transformers and different fluids. The plants are designed to perform thermal vacuum drying, filtration, particle matter removal, and dewatering of the oil used in lubricant systems, seal systems, hydraulic control system for gas turbine and gas pumping units, gas engine compressor, as well in transformers while the transformer is in operation or in reparation. The machine can be used for purification of contaminated oils to remove water, free and free and dissolvable gases, for heating and drying the oil-filled electrical device with no hot transformer oil by thermal vacuum drying. The machine also removes particle matter by the means of the high-performance filtering element. The machine is used by installation, repair, and maintenance companies that engage the mineral oil processing and purification. The machine is known for use in explosion or toxic or lubricant reactive media. We have to be careful with this because some specific uh, points can be problem. We use the machine in these areas, explosive, toxic, or reactive one. And when we use the machine in a confined indoor spaces, we must to be careful to exhaust the gases to out of the room, because we will have different gases and maybe it will be annoying, and we will have to be careful of these different gases. Today we would like to speak about the new range of machines on the LT series equipment. This series is completely equivalent to the standard equipment in terms of capacity and final product quality. The main difference with the standard equipment is that no input pump installed in the machines that reduce the different elements inside the machine, and we will have some improvements that we will want to talk and we will to touch in this meeting. You use the vacuum pump for generate the machine's vacuum system for generate the suction of the all the oil in the machine, and this system will help us with the improvement on the machines. A wide range of equipment has been developed for Globcore. And next, we are going to discuss the greater details and show main advance in these equipment and different things we are renewing the machines for you and for the use in the different sites. We will start with the LTS standard series machines. As I said before, no input pump are installed in these machines. The these this series of machines are really the same in the before CMM and UVM machine, but we have to see different things here. The main difference, as I said, is the starting with the standard equipment is no input pump installed. The pumping into function is performed by a vacuum pump, which generates a vacuum in the inlet line, allowing the oil to flow into the machine. Due to the input pump installed, we have managed to make the machine more energy efficient, which is particularly evident during maintenance activity into a great number of transformers. We will save energy, we will save time with that. At the same time, the capacity of function of the machine is not affected with no input pump installed. The inlet filter bank has been enlarged to accelerate the pumping input of oil that accelerates pumping of oil into the machine with a greater amount of contaminants captured and prevent their ingress into the heating system at the vacuum chamber. Due to this use of more versatile seals, filter, and fillers in the vacuum chamber, the kitchen application target includes not oil transformers oil only, but also turbines oil, industrial oils, natural ester, and other types of oils can be worked with this machine with no problem. The framing enclosure is protected against the wind, rain, and dust through the use of doors and panels. You can see here, we have one frame completely to cover the machine, and you see here the spaces, but these spaces are covered for doors, as these doors will protect the machine of the environment, of the wind, rain, dust, everything can be affect the machine will be protected. In additional, the can feature compartments for storage of hoses, power class, and other tools. You can see here in the right hand of the machine, we have one space for a storage of different things. And we usually use this space for carry the hoses or the power cables of the machine. That is really useful if you are in the field working with the machine. You always are looking for a special storage space, and this will help you to the carry of the tools, the different things needed for the performance of the different works on the field. Uh, Also, we have the LT Compact series, and now we will see one slide about this. This is designed for open compact version with no frame. You can see we don't have doors, we don't have a lot of things that reduce the weight of the machine and makes easy to move the machine with a small truck or with a pickup that will helps you to move the machine in a small spaces, confined spaces, and you will have the different elements of the machine really accessible for a quick repairman if you need to do something on the machine. Also, the machine has a compact footprint, allows operation the machine in component workshop spaces with caster wheels, and make the possible move the machine across the shop floor without a lot of effort. That makes you move this machine really simple. You will not need a lot of people moving this machine. Similar to the standard series, the machines feature no input pump installed. And this machine don't have input pump equal the other machine. The vacuum pump will be the responsible to realize the suction of the oil from the transformer, or from the tanks, or from the different storage places where you have the oil for being processed. You will use the vacuum pump in the machine for the ingress of the oil into the machine. This machine uh, has a energy efficient really high. That means the electrical consumption of this machine compared with the other series are lower, and sometimes is more sometimes it's really difficult to find uh, big sources of energy when you are working outside. And that means when you have one machine and this machine is a low electricity consumption, will be really good for your process, because you can do with really good standards of work with no a lot of energy, and that is really appreciated for a lot of companies around the world that make these kind of machines are really good sellers for around the world. And is everybody, a lot of people are looking more and more for these kind of machines. Okay. At the same time, the capacity and the functionality of these machines is not perfect for the no input pump installed. The inlet filter banks has been increased and large. We know if we don't have pump in the inlet, we will try to reduce the effort made for the vacuum pump for the sucking of the oil. That makes we enlarge the filters in there, the inlet filters of the machine, and we increase the capacity of retain contaminants in these kind of filters. Due for the really good seals, filters, and filler system in the machines, this machine also can work with turbine, industrial, and natural ester oils, and everywhere, and every different types of oil. Also, we will talk about the 5 ppm and 5 ppm plus options. Another improvement of our equipment is a newly developed of 5 ppms and 5 ppms plus options. The main objective of the development of this equipment was to achieve a low oil moisture content in a single pass of the oil portion through the machine. And that means we will take a portion of oil in this machine. The oil will go into the machine, and this oil will not out of the machine if we don't reach 5 or less ppm of moisture inside of the oil transfer. Oh, the oil, sorry. Um, the oil moisture in a single pass. In order to accomplish this is in a small site solid cartridge were specifically developed. You can see here in the left hand of the machine, we have two cartridge of zeolite, and this zeolite is the element what we helps you to reach a really low levels of moisture inside the oil. And in single terms, we add a new technology elements, zeolite cartridge, and our standard equipment using the single method. We have managed to engage this capabilities. The outright piping system allows the system oil portion to be performance inside the machine until reach the required moisture levels. This new piping system allow operation or equipment with or without cartridge by isolating the columns with the use of manual or automatic valves, depending on the package contents of the machine. Single since the cartridge has been added to the existing compact series machine, the overall dimension of the machines remain almost unchanged, make it too easy to move and operate in confined workshops. Uh, Next, we are going to discuss different options of this capability in greater details in future slides in this presentation. Okay. Um, well, first, let's take a closer look of the UBM LT series machine. In terms of design, they can be classified into two types, a standard and compact. The UBM LT series is completely equivalent to the standard UBM machines of Lovecore. This features a double stage vacuum system. When you see UBM, we are talking about a two-stage vacuum system, which allows achieve a high vacuum and excellent gas and moisture content results. Since the machine features no input pump installed, as mentioned above, uh, and the oil flow into the machine is facilitated by the vacuum pump. The diameter in the pipes has been increased, like in the other machines we mentioned. In the improvements, mainly the other machines that we was mentioned are the same here. We increase the pipes, we increase the filter, and we increase the fillers of oil into the machine because we need to reduce the charge to the vacuum pump and make easy for the oil get inside of the machine through the procedure of the through the using of the vacuum in the system. The process equipment used in the machine so a heater is completely equivalent to the standard dual pumps units. The vacuum chamber feature an increased volume for improvement efficient and thermal vacuum drying. The standard series has the same overall dimension and design for of the frame, doors, and panels. It is also included in spare parts compartment. The terms of specification, the compact series also comprehends to the standard equipment. However, this series of equipment is built in a compact design. The Globcore machines usually are really compact and you compare with the competitors. So this is a really good thing because make easy for you move the machine between different sites, and that is really appreciated for the different companies around the world. Do the use of more versatile seals, filters, and filler, as I said, you will have um, application targets and different oils in the industry. Turbine oils, industrial, different oils can be worked with this kind of machine. This equipment is designed to process oil with higher level of contamination by particles, owing the use of enlarged mechanical filters in the inlet of the machine. The filtration thickness on new filters is 100 to 200 micron. This is the inlet filter. Then you will see in the next slides we have other filters, and this filter can remove in better way the solid particles in the process. Okay. Also, we will see different parts of this machine. You can see the different numbers are connected with a specific part in this slide. But one important thing is you will see the 8 number and you see 150 booster pump. These machines, UBM series, are special um, a special has a special remark in this kind of machine are two-stage vacuum system, and you can see the booster in this number 8. This is the pump who will increase a lot of the levels of vacuum inside of the machine, and that will make a really good performance of the machine when you have to when you need to dehydrate the oil and when you need to remove gases from oil. Uh, LTS standard series is equipped in full standard frame. You can see this frame is a really comfortable for the use in the field. You have a space for the hoses, for the power cable, even for tools. Um, uh, you can see the double stage vacuum, and this will have a really high efficiency vacuum chamber for the drying of the oil. Also, we have the oil trap in the machine. You will see the oil trap in the number 4. Okay, this is piping system, but this piping system has the the oil trap in there because we will have a really high careful to don't mix the oil of the transformer with the vacuum pumps oil, and we will have there the oil traps, and these traps will help us to avoid conditions of alarm, because when you have mixing of oils you can have problems, but the machine has a double system of for prevent these conditions, and the oil traps will be one of the system for prevent this possible problem in our machines. Okay, one of the more interesting things in our machines is the vacuum chamber. This vacuum chamber is really special. You can see here 3 different columns inside of this vacuum chamber. These 3 different columns has the function of divide the flow of oil inside. That will help us to expose the oil for more time to the vacuum. And when you have more time the oil in contact to the vacuum, you will have better results with the hydration and the gassing process. The thing will be really easy. The flow of the oil will go inside in this pipe, and the oil will have 3 different routes for go the oil inside the vacuum chamber. The oil, that means the complete flow will divide in 3. That increase in 3 the time or remaining the oil inside the vacuum chamber. Then the oil is exposed to the vacuum. The oil will fall down in the vacuum chamber, and all the 3 flows will go together to the outlet of the machine. Outlet of the machine. And that means the oil was exposed to the vacuum 3 times. That makes a lot of sense if you know when you have more exposition of the oil to the vacuum, you will have better results in the dehydration and the gassing process. Also, this vacuum chamber has different sensors for the different process in what the machine will do. We have low level sensors. Here we will high level sensor, and this sensor will have protection against the formation of foam inside of the vacuum chamber. If this sensor activate, the machine will send us one alarm and will protect itself for this amount of foam inside the vacuum chamber. And we have also other different sensors that will help us in the function, in the regular function of the machine, and will help us to adjust the rates of work with the machine. That is really good for the work of this kind of vacuum chambers. That is a really high level technology piece of equipment, and is included in our standard vacuum machines of the series UBM and in the series CMM2. Okay, here we have a flow diagram of this machine, and the way the oil is really easy in this machine. We have here the inlet. of the oil in the machine. Then we will pass through a filter. This is a really big filter and will remove solid parts of the oil. Then we have no return valves. We know if the oil comes here, it will not return to the inlet. That will give us a lot of safety in the procedures. With even that safety is if we don't have energy in the machine, we know the oil will not return in this way. And then then we have here the heater. This heater will increase the temperature of the oil. Uh, all you need for for the dehydration and degassing. Then we have the flow sensor. This is needed for the activation of the heater. If this flow sensor don't detect we have flow of oil in this way, the heater will not work because we don't want the heater start to work if is no flow of the oil inside of them. That means only if the flow sensor detects flow of the oil in this heater, the resistor will turn on. After the heater and the flow sensor, we have the filter. This is one filter of particles, maybe from 20 microns to 5 microns. Usually, you have use here 25 or 20 microns filters. Then we have electric bulbs. These bulbs um, uh, will be activated if the different sensors in the vacuum chambers allow that. If we have a really high level of oil inside the vacuum chamber, these electric bulbs will be closed because we will prevent over a lot of oil inside of this vacuum chamber, and we will avoid the oil flow from this pipe. When the level is adequate, this bulb will be open and allow the oil go in of the vacuum chamber. The MB3, this one here, will help you to adjust the flow of the oil in going to the vacuum chamber, and then we will have the vacuum chamber, and there is where the magic is done, where the oil will be dehydrated and where the oil will be uh, degassing. We have another big part of the machine is the vacuum section, and here we have the vacuum pump, and here we have the booster pump. Uh, then here we have the oil trap, and we have the sensor who will detect if we have oil in this trap. And that will be really helps if for something the machine has one problem with this sensor and the oil comes from the vacuum chamber to the oil section, the machine will stop because detects oil in this line. Another thing we have in this machine is the bulb out of the vacuum chamber. We can select if the oil will go uh, against to the end of the vacuum chamber and recirculate inside of the machine, or if we have closed the MB2, the oil will have this direction to the outlet pump. The outlet pump will um, pump oil through the outlet filter. This filter used to be between 5 to 10 microns, so because we want to remove the smaller particles before the oil go out of the machine, and then the oil can go directly to the transformer or direct to the different tanks and storage the oil when you need to storage. Other possibility you have with this machine is the recirculation of the oil through the machine from the beginning of the process, and is another option you will find in this kind of machines. Other option in this machine is if you close completely MV6, you will have the vacuum system completely separated of the machine. This would allows you to make the vacuum direct to one equipment. You can make a vacuum to one transformer if you need to dehydrate that, especially if you need to remove moisture from the paper. You can use this machine for that. And also another thing you can do is the heating and filtration procedure, where you will pass oil from here, from here, and in this way, this kind of machine will increase a lot the amount of oil that the machine can work, and will help you for the filtration and the heating of the oil, and you will remove solid parts of this oil, and you increase the temperature, and you can use this mode. For example, if you have a lot of different tanks and you want pass the oil for one big tank, you can use this mode of the machine for work uh, in the oil in this mode, and used to be faster. Also, we will have the compact UBM LT machine, and you can see here also the booster pump. As I tell you, the UBM machines are the machines of Lovecraft with two stages vacuums. And here you will see that vacuum booster pump. And this will increase a lot the level of vacuum you will reach inside the machine, and it will help you to uh, reach really good levels of dehydration in when you work with the transformers. The same way, this machine don't have inlet pump. The way that this machine used to mm, pump oil inside the machine is the vacuum pump, and as the same the other machines, we have a really big sorry, we have a really big inlet filter of particles. We have biggest pipes, and we have better fillers of oil for the vacuum and the heater chamber. This machine has another really huge improvement, and for me, it's a really smart piece of equipment. And this is the vacuum chamber and the heater chamber. And when you see this machine for first time, you say, "Well, this machine has only one tank," but that is not true. This machine has two different tanks, but one tank is inside the other one. And we can see that in this slide. You can see here we have the heater elements in the center of the tank, and eh, this tank is two tanks, and that means the oils will come inside of the central tank, and the oil will start to fill this tank, and will have contact with the different resistors. When these resistors start to heat the oil will start to go up inside this tank by the vacuum effects. When this oil reach the high level inside, we have a special cover inside, and this cover will move the oil from the central tank to outlet tank, to the to the external tank. This external tank is the vacuum chamber, and this vacuum chamber will help us to avoid the contact of the heater tank with the environment. That means the electrical efficiency of this machine is really huge, because all the heat generated by the electricity in this resistor will be transferred direct to the oil, and the vacuum chambers will be like a special barrier that will be avoid the contact of the heat of the resistor with the environment, and that will help the electrical efficiency of the machine in a really huge way, and that makes the heater transmission is really good for this kind of machine. And this machine have another really important thing is the use of irregular pole rings. We can read here, and these pole rings are a lot of plastic rings inside of the vacuum chamber, and that will make the oil coming from the top of the chamber will not have direct pass from the top to the bottom of the vacuum chamber. We will have a really deep, a lot of parts here, and the oil will hit these rings, and the drops will be broken in small drops, and that will make the effects of the vacuum inside this machine will be really high, and the time of the exposition of the oil uh, to the vacuum will be increased a lot. That will help you to have really, really good levels of dehydration, degassing of the oil when you are working with this kind of machine, because you will multiplicate, the oil will be multiplied the time inside of the vacuum chamber, and that will help us to have a really good levels of dehydration. Here you can see different parts of the vacuum chambers and the heater. And remember, is a double work tank. We have the heater inside and the vacuum chamber in the external side of the tank. And we have a lot of different things in this special chamber. Also, we have here in gray color the oil trap, because if the oil in the external chamber increase a lot of the level, even the oil level reach this point, the oil can move from the vacuum chamber to the vacuum line, and we will not want this, and we will find here a sensor setting here, and when the oil in the vacuum line reach this level, the machine will stop the process, and that will help us to prevent possible mixing of oil between the machine, the vacuum machine oil, and the oil what you are working for the cleaning, and that will be really good for the procedure. Also, we have a really huge preliminary filter. This preliminary filter is redesigned for Globcore for reduce the resistance that this filter generate to the vacuum system. That's why we have a really big, in my words, maybe is a huge inlet filter, and this filter will reduce the resistance for the oil getting inside of the machine. Also, we will find some magnets in this filter. These magnets will help you to remove metal particles in the oil, and that will help you to reduce the problems with the oil. You can see it's a really easy configuration for the cleaning of this filter. This filter don't have to be replaced. You have only to clean this, and you will remove these screws in the cover here. When you remove these screws, you will find the filter. You unscrew this nut here, and you will remove with your hand in easy way that the filter. You will with you can clean this filter in an easy way and reset in the position. Remember, this filter is for really big particles, and this particle is usually be we be here for really dear oil, but will be filtered for this piece of equipment. Another piece of equipment really important for us is the fine filters in the machine. Usually we have one. Usually we have 2 or 4 filters inside the housings. This filter will remove the fine particles of solid contaminations, small particles. Are really simple to replace. You will release this nut here in the top, and when you release that, you will have access to remove the different filter elements and to reduce the contamination inside the oil. And also we have the air inlet bulb. When we are charging the oil for first time in the machine, we recommend to open these valves to release the air inside of these filters. When you see the oil is coming out from these valves, the recommendation, well, is needed to close these valves to avoid the oil continue getting out, but you will uh, remove air from the filters, and that will allow to you to have better filtration inside these filters. Or this is the diagram of the simple of the UBM LT compact unit, and you can see uh, here is the inlet connection, the inlet bulb, the inlet filter, mesh filter is the big filter in the machine. We have automatic bulb. This will depend if the level is really high here. LS2 is a level sensor. Will close this bulb for avoid the oil continue going up inside of the machine. Then the oil will continue this way and will find the heater. The heater will full of oil, and then when reach the top of the heater, the oil will come for this special cover and from the top to the bottom. And when the oil reach the sensor LS1 here, the machine will knows the machine can pump out oil from it, and this pump will start to work. When the LS1 is working, pump 1 can work. Then we have here the flow sensor. When this flow sensor is activated, the heater can activate because the machine understand we have flow inside the machine and the oil will not stock in the heater. We have the MB12 valve to close the flow rate into the filters of fine particles, and then we have the out stage of the machine. And we have here another sensor, LS4, which detects if we have leakage in the machine. If we have leakage and the oil level in the dry increase, that means the LS4 will be activated and will disconnect the machine for his revision, and you will review if you have problems in some part of the machine, and if you have to uh, uh, solve the leakage. When you solve the leakage, you drain this sensor using MB6, and you can continue work with no problems in your machine. Okay. Then we will talk about of CMLT series compact machines, and the difference between the CMLT series and the UBM series is that this machine is a single stage machine. We don't have a booster pump in this machine. All the rest things are the same. This machine don't use inlet pump as the other ones I mentioned to you. And these machines works in a really easy way. These machines are really, really like the people and love this machine a lot because are really used to really easy to use. If you see in this panel control panel, you will find only 6 or 7 buttons in the panel, and that makes the machine is really easy to use, and a lot of people love that of this series of machine. Other thing really important in this series is really easy to move because the weights of this machine are not high. You can move these kind of machines in a really a small vehicle, and you will have no problem for the transportation of the machines when you have to do works outside of your facilities. Okay. You sorry. Okay. Here you see different parts of the machine, and as I mentioned before, you will not see booster pump in the machine. The machine are really compact and help us to really good works when you need mobility in your facility. Okay, here we have the flow diagram of the LT standard machine, CMM LT standard. That is the machine who has the frame for storage, hoses, and power cable and tools. And it's really easy. You will have the same flow uh, direction. Okay, the oil will pass through the valves, through the filter, through the heater, another filters, and then will reach the vacuum chamber. This vacuum chamber is the big one, the vacuum chamber who have the flow in 3 different columns. I explained before in this presentation. You will find the same sensor in this machine. From low level, high level, phone level, and then you will have the outlet section with the pumps, the filters, and no return bulbs, and then the oil will be to the storage place or transformer or whatever you are filtering oil. Then you will have here the vacuum section of the machine. Is the same vacuum section. The only difference is you have only one vacuum pump. Is the vacuum pump. You will have no the booster pump. But for the rest of the things, the machine is the same of the UBM, but with not 2 vacuum pumps. You will not find here booster pump. You other machine we will talk about is the CMM LT compact machine. I have to mention these CMM LT compact units are a series of machines. We have machine from 600 liters by hour, 1,000 liters by hour, 2.2 tons. 1,000 liters by hour, 4,000 liters by hour. That will help you to select the machine which fits with your requirements and your needs in your different companies, and will helps you to have the machine who adjusts to your needs. Okay, the same as the previous one. This machine is exactly the same, the UBM LT Compact, but the only difference is this machine don't have booster pump in his installation. You will find safety bulbs, oil traps, control cabinets, vacuum chamber, heater, all the different elements is the same, only this machine don't have booster pump. Okay, this is the flow diagram of the machine, and you can see here is a have a mistake. Sorry, is that CMM? Forget that. You can read here CMM LT. And you see the difference is we don't have booster pump. The rest is the same. Is diagram really easy and really similar to the one before I explained for you. And here is the control panel. This is the full control panel of one thermo vacuum machine. That is really easy for work for the technical persons in the field. You will have one button for start the vacuum pump and another button for turn off the vacuum pump. You will have one button for turn on the oil pump and one button for turn off the oil pump. And depends of the machine, you can have one or two stages of heating. And if you have like in this case, two different heating stages, you will have one button for stage 1 and one button for stage 2 and one button for turn off the two heating stages of the vacuum thermo vacuum machine. Also, you will have in the control panel different lights. You will have a heating light that will turn off, of course, if the machine is heating the oil. Overheating, if the oil gets a really high level of vacuum, a high level of heating, sorry, and the machine will say you, maybe you have a problem with the machine and you had overheating of the oil inside of the machine. You have the light of the oiling trap. You remember if the oil of the oil that you are working will go into the line of vacuum. The oil trap will be activated and that will turn on. The machine will have one alarm, and the oil in tray or where this light will be activated when you have leakage in the machine and the machine detect that leakage. You will turn off this light and the machine will give you one alarm and you have to stop the procedure and review what is happening with the machine. The oil temperature regulator is here. It's really easy in that all the programmation of this oil temperature regulator is made for GlobeCore. You only have to set the temperature you want to work. If you push here up, the temperature will be increased. If you push here down, the temperature will be decreased and the regulation will be made automatically. You don't have to touch anything more. When you set the temperature, you know the temperature in the machine will be constant and you will have no problem to have to touch again because the temperature will be really stable in the machine. And the other one is the emergency stop here. This is not other thing that more one button that you will use when you have emergency. Some people use to stop the machine from here, and that is not permitted because the way to stop the machine is you will stop the heating, then you will stop the vacuum, and then the machine by themselves will sorry, I don't know what but something is happened with the recording of the presentation. Well, I will continue. And when you finish the procedure, the sensor of low level in the machine will stop the pump, and then you can stop the oil pump with this button. Okay, then well, we will have the flow inside the oil, the oil inside the machine. I present you before is really easy. In resume this, you will have oil inlet in inlet of the machine here. Then you will have the vacuum generated for this pump. that makes the oil come into the machine. The oil will go to the heater. Okay, the oil will go here, then will pass to the vacuum chamber, and then the oil will go to the oil pump, then pass through the filters, and then go out of the machine. Uh, we have one improvement in this kind of machines. Well, in the LT and the UV and the LT compact series, and we add two solid cartridge. And these cartridges are looking for reduce the moisture inside the oil in only one pass through the machine. That will be really helpful for the time of the procedure, because you will reduce the time of the filtration in the field. And we add two different cartridge. Even depends of the machine, you can add from 2 to 5 pieces of this cartridge, and every single of these cartridge can absorb 7 liters of water uh, each one. That means you will remove a lot of water from the oil, and you will reduce less of 5 ppm uh, in a single pass. We have these cartridge maybe in a standard serial machine, or you can have this machine in the UBM and in the CMM standard machines. This will be really good for the procedures. The difference between 5 ppms or 5 ppms plus options is the automatic capabilities of the machines. If you have the 5 ppm plus, you can even reach the automatization of the machine and the control of the machine even remotely. You can work with the machine if you are not present in front of the machine. If you have the standard 5 ppm machine, is a manual control and will be the normal way that you use to work with this kind of machines. Okay, here you can see the model of the compact units with the 5 ppm option installed. The machine include a single or double stage vacuum system depending on the equipment series. If you select CMM, remember only one single stage, and if you select UBM, is a two-stage vacuum system. Vacuum chamber coming with heaters and a standard machine in the compact series is still in the small size of the machine, and that makes it really easy to move the machine around the facilities. It's really easy to change these filters. You see here is not a really complicated system to replace every cartridge of Zeolite, and that will help to the performance of the filtration of the oil. Okay, uh, here you will see the control panel of the module 5 ppm plus. You see here we have a PLC, and the number 6 is a controller, program logic control, and you will have different parameters here. You will have in the number 7 the option to activate or deactivate the solid cartridge. That means you can work with or without this function. And one really interesting thing in this machine is that number 9, you will have a printer. This printer will allow you print the levels of moisture reach on the filtration of the oil, and that will help you if you have to present a report in when you are doing your works in your when you are doing your filtration in the field, and you can have one paper to present to the customer, so the user of the transformers. Okay, here we have the flow diagram of the 5 ppm plus option, and you will see here we have this pipe. This pipe can activate or disactivate. If you activate this pipe, the oil will not pass through the solid cartridge. If you close MB7, the oil will through the filters, like you are looking right now in the draw. And that's the same the other machines. You remember the previous diagrams. The only thing more is the present odd solid cartridge, and that will improve the dehydration of the machine. But you will select the use of this or not use these filters. And other possibility you will have with this machine is the inside recirculation of the oil. If you want to work by batches, that means you will work with one specific amount of oil, and you will make this oil come to into the machine again, and filtration if you think you need to more dehydration for the oil you are working in that moment. Okay, we have different options we can add to the machine. We can add a moisture sensor, we can add particle sensor, even we can add the TSS system, this one. And this system is for work with the transformers energized. If we use the machines with the transformer connect to the network, we need system of security that allow us to work with safety. And this is in the standards. We cannot work the machine with this kind of systems, and we can add the TSS to all these machines I present today, and that allows you to work with the machine with the transformer energizer. Okay, some different parts we can add that we can add to the machine are the pressure sensors. This sensor will indicate to you if you have to replace the element filters. We can add particle counter that will help you to know the quality of the oil inside of the machine. That will helps you to know if you have a lot of solid contaminations. Other important is the moisture sensor. You can know the level of moisture inside of your oil, because you can have inlet and outlet moisture sensors. And oil sensor is designed for monitoring the rate of oil passing through the machine. That will help you to know how much oil are being worked for your machine in specific times. As I mentioned before, that TSS system is one system to helps you to connect the machine with the transformer energized. And one important thing is the TSS system can work with another machines. We can connect this kind of system to every kind of machines of thermal vacuum and dehydration systems. Well, this is the things we have prepared for you. We hope you enjoyed the presentation. Now I will try to read some questions in the chat. I see we have 4 comments, and I will try to
I
to
think,
answer the different.
thank you very much, Jose. We will now have the QA session. If you have any questions for Jose, please feel free to ask them right now.
Okay, I see if the
Okay.
people is asking if we will share the presentation. Of course, we will send you the presentation.
Okay, I have one question only. Hello?
Yep. Yeah, we hear you.
Yes, regarding the transformer, while it is energized on the network, how will control the level of the oil in order to be safe? Because you know the transformer must work in a certain level. Because
That
if
is a
you
really
the
good
machine,
question. That
if
is
the
a
machine
no,
inlet and outlet, maybe the level will be affected. How
yeah.
will control this?
This kind of machine has to connect one pressure sensor in the bottom of the machine. With this
Okay,
pressure sensor, we will use this pressure like the indication of one level of oil.
okay,
We convert this pressure in a level, and we set a high level or a low level of oil that we can accept in the procedure. If the level go down or go up more than the acceptable levels of pressure, the machine will disconnect the process and close the valves directly connect to the transformer for stop the procedure.
okay. And you will control the level inside the machine.
Yeah, the
The level
pressure.
will be stable inside the machine.
Yep, the level of oil inside the machine will be completely safe because the pressure will
Mm,
set us what
mm.
is the level inside, and when we see uh, small this small change that can be problems, we stop the procedure.
Okay. And there is no any bubbles will enter the transformer or anything through the filtration process, right? Yani,
Sorry again, I
during
have
the
a problem
inlet,
of the connection.
yes, I'm asking if there is no any, through the filtration, maybe there is some bubbles will enter the transformer or some
That
moisture
is
or
a really
something.
good question too. The system has two different systems to avoid bubbles inside of the transformers.
Mm,
The TSS has a really complete system to extract air of the oil and
mm.
avoid bubbles inside of the transformer because that bubbles can be dangerous, and
Yes, of
that is a
course. Because,
yeah, it's
mm,
a really good question, and the TSS has uh, two different ways to avoid this kind of bubbles inside the transformer. You can be
okay,
safe about that.
okay, thank you, thank you.
Let me read some question here. Okay, Ruben Lopez is asking about how many gallons per minute can the equipment proceed during the complete processing cycle. That will depend on the machine. We have different machines. You used to present the capability of the machines in liters by hour, but we have machines from 400 liters by hour to 15,000 liters by hour. That will be depends of your machine, and you can adjust the flow rate with bulbs, or some machines have electronic flow rate adjustments, but will be depend of the machine, and you will select the machine depends on the machine you will work. Well, for example, if you will work a really huge transformer, you will need a really big machine, maybe 10,000 liters by hour or 15,000 liters by hour.
Okay, I have one question here regarding we cannot control this capacity because there is some machine. I have another machine, my air, Germany. We can control the amount of liter. And I can work with this machine in the rate 2,000 liter until 6,000 liter, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. I can control this capacity or according to the machine.
Yes, we have two different ways to make the control of this capacity. We have electronic PID controls, and you can adjust in a really fine way the flow rate. And we have the adjustment by bulbs. That is not really fine because it's a manual way to adjust the flow rate into the machines, but it's cheaper, and that will depend on you. If you want a really exact system for the flow rate adjustment, you can pay for a paid PID system, and it's a really exact system. If you don't have, if you don't want to pay for that, you can make the adjustment by different bulbs, and these bulbs usually are in the inlet and the outlet of the vacuum chamber.
I know, but that is not. It is not. I cannot control by the bulbs. Better to be automatic, as you told.
Oh, okay, perfect. Any more questions there?
I have another two questions regarding the UM LT equipment. Well, what is the maximum temperature that the heaters can reach on the equipment?
Okay, usually with the equipment you can reach 90 degrees centigrade, but the recommendation for work with the electric mineral oil is do not exceed 60, because when you pass of 62 degrees you start to lose some characteristics in the oil.
Okay. And the other question is, what is the service of life of the filters for the equipment? I mean, I know that maybe that is gonna be involved for the use of the equipment, but do you have an estimated time or change these filters?
It is really difficult to determine one life expectation of these filters. I saw filters who only can work for once because the oil through the machine was really dirty. And I saw filters used in machines that the companies usually work on with new oil, and these filters was using for 2 years in a row and with no problems. And that will directly depends of the how dirty is your oil, uh, and how much oil are you pass through this filter.
But I think in the machine that I have for 1,000 liter globe.
Sorry, I have problem with
before
the
and after the filter. All right.
We have the recommendation is when you reach 15 psi of pressure in the filters, you can remove these filters.
Yes.
Okay. Somebody have another questions? Okay, could you please again the function of the part of plastic inside the chamber? Well, in the compact series and in the compact LT machines or UBN compact machines, you will find plastics inside of the vacuum chamber. These plastics is used for the oil don't go direct from the top of the machine to the bottom. The oil will pass through these rings, and the oil will have the oil will need to pass for a higher distance, and that permit the oil will be inside the vacuum chamber for more time. It's something like this, the easy way to explain this. The plastic inside the vacuum chamber permits the time of the oil inside the vacuum chamber is longer. Here we have another question from Hamui Ibrahim. He is from Nigeria. Many transformers fail prematurely due to moisture ingress, overloading, and low maintenance intervals. From your experience, what are the most critical transformers oil parameters utilities should routinely monitor, and how can timely oil processing help prevent these current failures? Okay, the time is at least one time a year you have to make one oil analysis or verification of your transformer. And the most critical, is really difficult to say only one, but the most critical things inside the transformer are the moisture and the temperature. You will try the moisture inside the transformer and the temperature in the transformer are low, because when you have any of those in higher levels, the machine will have problems. The transformer will have problems. And plus to the moisture inside the oil, you have to make the physical and chemical tests for the oil is really important. And plus, I add the gas chromatography. If you have gases inside the transformer, that means you have a fail and you have to repair the transformer. And it's good to know if something's happened there. That's my recommendation. Let me see what we have here. Does this kind of flow merit needs configuration? Maybe need configuration, or maybe has problem in the display, and maybe the flow merit needs to be replaced. Then what is the specific heat load that you use in your design of the heaters? Okay, I have to look for this information about the load in the design, but I will look for that and I will send you to use Cesar Lino. I see your question. And well, I think okay. I think I have no more questions. If you have more questions, you can send by mail to Jane, and Jane and me will be really happy to answer these questions. We appreciate your attention and your presence here in the webinar, and we hope to see you in a future webinars with us. Jane, I don't know if you have
Yeah.
some words to the
Thank
people
you.
here.
Thank you very much, Jose. So thank you very much for being with us today. I hope the webinar was interesting and useful for you. If you would like to receive the presentation, please send me an email and I will be happy to share it with you. If you have any further questions, feel free to email me and I will do my best to answer them. So thank you very much and have a great day, everyone. See you next time.
Thank you.
See you next.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. See you later.
Bye-bye.